keep you organized. One of the easiest ways to stay organized is having some place to put all your stuff when you come in the door and when you leave the house. We call it a mudroom, and Stacy McLennan is going to show you that you can have one no matter how much space you have.
Well, you know what? Our clients are always asking us to, just squeeze in a mudroom however you can. So you don't really need a lot of space. So I'm going to show you how you can tuck one into the corner of a house, or even if you have a wider hallway, you can use a wall.
Yes.
And the trick is you really want to maximize storage to keep everything looking organized, and use your vertical space as well, because that can really give you some extra storage space. And bins and things like that keep it really easy to access. So that's important too, especially if you have small kids.
Yes.
If it's not easy to get to, they're not going to use it. So you want to make sure that it's easy to access.
We all know, because we all have a lot of bins at home that are not being used.
Right.
Do we not? They're just sitting there and they're so pretty, but no one's using them. So they've got to be some that are low like this for little hands.
For sure, they have to be able to get to it.
And also, you have done something right here because you have multiples. We only have two at home. They get overflowing, and then we're out of space. You've got tons here.
So we decided to keep it all the same so that it looks very organized. And then we've accessorized a little bit with some personal photos, and we've changed up the hardware on the bench. So it gives it a little bit more of a personal, upgraded look.
Nice.
And it still keeps it looking organized because everything is all the same. So I think that's important too. If you have mismatched boxes and things like that, it can start to look a little bit too cluttered.
Now, you've done a good thing by having hooks on the wall as well. I don't have a closet in the front of my house, and I know there are some people that are in the same situation. So hooks can solve that issue.
Absolutely. Hooks are great too, because then the kids can just throw their own jackets and knapsacks and things like that on.
Yeah.
And then something else that we often do is we'll use a paneling on the wall behind, because it's a little bit more durable than a drywall. So, if you have things scraping up against it, it's going to last and stand up a little bit more. So that's also a great trick for a mudroom. And it gives it a little bit more of that mudroom look as well.
I love it.
Yeah.
So with the bench, what's great about it, you switched out the hardware, which is nice, but you've got a place to sit and put on your shoes.
That's key, especially, if you have little kids or even elderly people. They need a spot to sit down and put their boots on, like, all the crazy laces we have nowadays. You just definitely want to have a spot to perch. And then baskets, large baskets with toys, like dog toys, umbrellas, the kids' balls, beach towels, like everything. So, really utilize these large baskets, and you can fill them with a lot of stuff, like a flip-flop basket or whatever. Yeah, and it keeps it looking fun and, again, still easy to access.
It looks so much more organized when you just throw all that stuff in a bin.
For sure.
It's the same ugly stuff.
Yeah, it is.
But it's in a cute basket.
Exactly.
It makes the biggest difference, and the umbrellas even in the little, in the bin at the front, which is lovely.
Absolutely.
You have your essentials here, which is great, and you've also added a rug.
Yeah, so, and again, like in the wintertime especially, you're going to want a carpet in the mudroom, place to wipe your feet off and that sort of thing.
Yes.
And we were able to get all of this from IKEA and use different pieces to create this mudroom effect.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the great thing about the rug is it sort of demarcates the space, but it's also that comfy area where you can sort of be switching on and off your boots and your shoes.
For sure.
Anything else we need to think about when it comes to creating a mudroom in a small space?
Yeah, if you really want to, again, get organized, we've also created name tags. You might recognize them.
Ozzy, even Sydney. So Ozzy's the dog, if you don't yet know. And he does deserve his own bin. He's got a lot of stuff, that dog.
Absolutely, for sure. So again, that's another way to just personalize it a little bit and keep it organized, and so everybody knows what basket's theirs.
Yes, I love that. And no fights.
No fights.
Right? Okay, great. So you've personalized it with photos. You've got very organized space. It's just a few elements that can make a big difference coming in and out of your house. And if you don't have the depth to have this whole sort of situation, just use your wall.
Exactly, and you can see that you don't need a lot of depth here to create some storage solutions.
That's correct.